Everyone, good evening. Welcome to the Transform Your Body, Mind, and Soul experiment I'm doing here, if you will, how to have a breakthrough in your weight loss journey. I'm Scott Winterroth. I'm the Scott Winterroth here on YouTube. Hope you're enjoying your weekend, what's left of it, almost over, and ready to hit a Monday morning. And ready to hit our goals, right? Ready to transform our life, ready to get on with our lives and create some positivity in our day and in our week. If you don't know who I am, I'm Scott Winterroth. I already said that twice now, but I am on a weight loss journey. I have lost over 150 pounds, primarily through changing my mindset, shifting my mindset, exploring a little bit of self-help and self-development, and going through a program that included weight loss surgery. Today, I'm hovering right around 200 pounds. I'm 5'7" and 41 years old, and I am living my best life, to be honest with you. I feel great. I'm super happy. I did everything I did. It was a little bit of a journey to get there, so I definitely want to share my experiences. You maybe have seen some of my videos here on YouTube where I go through my entire process of pre-surgery, day of surgery, post-surgery. But today, I'm like about, 18, 19, 20 months out, and feeling great. Well worth it. Would totally do it again if I had to. Would invest into it if I had to. Luckily, my insurance covered most of it. I know for some people that's not the case, but for me, very fortunate that at the time my insurance covered 100% of the surgery. So, well worth it. What's going on? So, each week I want to talk about where I'm at in terms of weight. This is an accountability live stream. So, if you are watching live stream, which I'll see here, I got a couple watchers. If you're watching live stream, feel free to drop in how your week was going. Did you gain some this week? Did you lose some this week? I am probably up 1.5 pounds, not gonna lie. But I'm also still below my goal weight, well below my goal weight. I'm like 15 pounds below my goal weight. So I can gain a little bit, and you gain some now and then. I know why I gained. I wasn't really tracking that much this week, tracking my calories, tracking my macros. I was eating a little bit for pleasure, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes you eat because you want to, not because you have to, not for energy, and that's what happens, right? Maybe could have tweaked my day a little bit better. I sometimes like to go light for breakfast, but then I think that sets me up for a bad day, right? So it's good to kind of set your day up with a high protein breakfast, higher calorie breakfast maybe, so you can kind of coast the rest of the day. It didn't really happen this last week, but of course, every week is a challenge. I think one of the best things to do is to really examine what you're doing, what's working, what's not working. And instead of waiting, when it's not working and you're not stepping on the scale, you're not getting that feedback, then, you're 6 months from now, 2 years from now, you look back and you gained all that weight. But if you keep a constant sort of feedback, as Peter Drucker, the famous, business economist always says, if you can measure it, you can manage it. That's kind of how the scale works for us. If we measure it every day and see that we're either up or down or even, then we can manage it, right? So I'm up a little bit, but also I wasn't working out. Don't think I hit the gym at all this week, and ready to make next week even better, right? Okay, so a couple of things I wanted to cover this week. The topic of today's live stream is about getting through a weight loss breakthrough. I think getting to your goal and creating a breakthrough for yourself is probably one of the hardest things to do, because there's one thing that always requires, and that is determination. Determination is 100% what you need in order to get to your goals, right? I think a lot of us, we want to get to the gym, we want to, not eat something that we shouldn't be eating, or we want to eat healthier, or whatever you want to do, your shouldas, whatever. Sorry if you're listening, I just hit the mic. Whatever your shouldas are, you should of yourself every day, then, I think the hardest thing is that determination, that motivation, that inspiration to spark you to either stop what you shouldn't be doing or to start doing what you should be doing, whether that's getting up earlier to go to the gym, or whether that's getting up to go to the gym, or whether that's going to the gym after work, whatever. I mean, believe me, I'm not criticizing. This is me. I'm really kind of being reflective of myself. But whatever you could do to get to that point is what you need to do in order to make that breakthrough. Because breakthroughs don't happen by themselves. Breakthrough happens because you had the determination, the motivation, and the commitment to making it happen, right? In order to make that happen, you have to decide, what are your goals? Why are you doing this? What makes you happy? I know for me, one of the things that really brings me joy is when I do a workout. especially in the Apple Fitness app. They have the, on your phone. We have Apple Plus, and as part of the Apple Plus subscription, I get access to Fitness Plus on for the Apple. I know if you have Android, whatever. I'm sure there's something comparable, but it's called Apple Fitness Plus. It looks like this, and they have custom workouts that are guided workouts. Whether you're doing strength training or HIIT workouts, or even like machine workouts, like cardio workouts, like treadmills and stuff like that, they have guided workouts that you can do. And I love them because they're like 10 minutes or 20 minutes. And boy, those trainers, like, they are really in shape and they will kick your butt. I mean, if you follow them, like, and get the burn bar going, like, you're going to have a really good workout. And for me, this is something that I like doing because it pushes me. I really like treadmill running. I'm not really an outside runner. I never really found joy running outside, but I do like running on the treadmill because it kind of pushes you, right? And when that belt's going, then you can't stop, because if you stop, you'll hurt yourself, right? So for me, the treadmill is where it's at. And what I love about Apple Fitness Plus is that afterwards they have what's called a mindful cool down. And as part of the mindful cool down, they actually take you through stretches that are either upper body, lower body, or total body. And with these stretches, you can then go into a meditation or a mindful cool down, which I love, because that's like sort of what brings me joy for doing the workout. So that little like happiness at the end is something that's short-term joy that I can use to help motivate myself to get to the gym to work out and to achieve my goals. That's a problem with weight loss in general and working out, is that it's always such a long-term goal. Like, you can hit the gym 4 days a week for 5 months and not really see a ton of progress. You will see progress, but you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to move mountains. It takes a long time to build your arms or do whatever you're trying to do at the gym. So you have to figure out what are those little things along the way that bring you joy. I know for me, the Apple Fitness workouts, the mindful cool down is something that's great because, one, it's something I already paid for, and two, it's not something that requires me to buy something additional or consume something. Another thing that I've tried over the years is, like, I really like the energy drinks, like Celsius drinks. The Celsius drinks are really good. They're like the green tea sort of energy drinks, and I like those. So sometimes I like encourage myself that if I can have one of those if I go to the gym or something like that. So those are some other ideas that you can use to help motivate yourself to get your breakthrough in your weight loss journey. Now, as you all know, I've talked about being a TOPS member for many years, and although I'm not a member of the group right now, I think that they still have tons of really good advice that you can get from being a TOPS member. In fact, the group that I was in had a list of 50 tips for a winning diet. So one thing I wanted to do in this live stream is go over every single tip 1 week at a time, right? So tip number 2 is actually a tip that I never really loved, but I'm going to talk about it. So tip number 2 was keep your diet to yourself. Do not make an issue of it. And I know for me, I think this goes in a couple different directions. One, keeping your diet to yourself, I think, is both a blessing and a curse. I think it depends on where you're at in your journey and what you're trying to do. If you are looking for accountability and motivation from others, then I think it's important to talk about your journey and talk about where you want to be. But then don't be upset when someone comes back with you or corrects you when you're eating or not doing something you're not supposed to be doing, right? And I think that's what they're trying to get at with that, is that if you start going around telling people and making a big issue of it, you're going to sort of get like negative feedback, or you're going to get naysayers or this or that. You know, I'm sure if you've ever had weight on you, you know what I'm talking about, right? But not making a big deal of it, I think, goes in a couple different directions. You could also look at it as not making a big deal of it is just because it's just something you should do. It's hygiene, right? Going to the gym, I know my dietitian said to me, going to the gym is like hygiene. You do it like you brush your teeth. It's just something, you don't make a big deal out of it. You don't make a big sort of, work yourself up about it, because it's just something you should do every single day, or at least four or 5 times a week, right? So not making a big deal out of it, not, going crazy with it is probably a good advice. And keeping it to yourself, like obviously if you're eating out with friends or you're going to a family dinner and you're on a diet, it's probably not a great idea to announce it to the world. If you're just not going to eat as much when you normally would, then just don't eat as much and don't make a big deal out of it. But if you go to a restaurant or you go to a house party and you're like, I'm on a diet, I can't eat this, I can't eat that, you get all kinds of weird feedback. Believe me, I've been there, I've done it myself. So it's probably good to just let it be, eat what you want, don't eat what you don't want, and hopefully no one will even notice, and just move on with your day. So I guess that is some sage advice, depending on how you look at it. Okay, if you're watching, tell me what's going on in your world. How are you feeling? What's going on in your world? Are you up? Are you down? You left? You right? No, I'm kidding. Have you had surgery? Have you not had surgery? Are you considering surgery? This is always a good time to ask any questions. I'm always happy to answer. Got some talking points here. I'm just looking through to make sure I covered everything I want to cover this week. We've actually had a lot of, just one of the talking points is mental health. I think I've had a lot of conversations with Heather this week about mental health and weight loss. One is the act of getting rid of clothes and body dysphoria. That's something that I know a lot of people have been talking about, especially online this week, is one, when you're going through a weight loss journey, whether that's surgical or chemical or just on your own, then you are going to go through the process of shedding a lot of weight, sort of having what they call phantom weight, and or the psychological or body dysphoria that kind of comes with it. And that's actually something that I've been noticing I sort of struggle with. I think for me, I'm going to pull up my notes here, sorry. But for me, there are times where I still feel like I am the 300-pound guy that I was. And I have to sometimes remind myself that I'm not that person. And when I feel that way, I get sad, right? Because I feel like I'm going to eat one little thing and I'm going to gain all my weight back, which is totally not true. And I have to stop and remind myself that that's not going to happen. But also, I also don't want to overeat either. So obviously, if you're eating something, you still have to be more sort of mindful. Mindful eating is still something I have to do. But what I don't want to do is eat something and then be like so sad because I feel like because I ate something, then I'm going to gain all my weight back overnight. That's totally not the case. A longtime mentor of mine said one bad meal or one bad day is not going to kill you. The key is staying on track and making sure that if you have a bad day or a bad meal or whatever, that the next day you're back at it. You're back on top, right? So I think that is something that I have to keep in mind. The other sort of issue that we've been having is clothes, getting rid of clothes. I mean, getting rid of clothes is something that's actually much harder than I thought it was going to be. I know back in the day when I first lost weight as a teenager, it was like super fun because I was able to buy like teeny bopper clothes and it was better. I know when I was younger, my bigger clothes were nothing special. But now as I'm older, I had more attachment to my bigger clothes, especially a couple pieces that you really enjoyed wearing, that when they no longer fit, it's sort of hard to get rid of them, right? But you have to just understand that that's part of the process. And not to mention, like, not just like any clothes, but clothes throughout the entire process, right? I think that I've actually bought 2 sets of clothes already. Maybe a set when I was like an extra large, and then now I'm kind of like borderline large and medium. So I'm even now, like, even clothes I bought 6 months ago are sometimes too big. And now I'm looking at either getting rid of or selling or doing whatever. So there's definitely a mental aspect of this that's difficult. And I think that it only helps is when you have community around this, right? When you're able to talk about it with each other and share experiences, and also remind each other why this is such a miracle surgery and why this is such a good thing to do. I mean, at the end of the day, things like clothes are not a big deal. Obviously, the mental work that comes with it is a little bit harder when you're thinking of yourself as still the big person that you are, or you're not, or where you don't want to be. There's struggles that come with that are going to be an issue, right? There are going to be things that you have to work through, whether that's internally or with a professional or with a group like this. But also, you have to remember that you're not alone, and I hope that you see that when you watch this, that you're not alone. There's people just like me who are like you, who have had experiences all throughout the different stages. When I was 300, when I was losing, when I'm at my goal weight now, right? There's all different types of mental things that have to happen along the way, but you don't have to go it alone, right? You can join a group of like-minded people who can help you through the process. That's one thing I love about the internet, is that we can all collectively help each other, and the rising tide lifts all ships. So if you are interested in learning more about all this stuff, please subscribe to this channel. If you want to leave a comment for next week, I'd definitely be happy to talk about whatever I can answer however I can answer. Maybe it will help you, but if it won't help you, maybe it'll help others. So please leave a comment on this video or on my next video. I'm trying to do these live streams every Sunday around 7 p.m. Of course, I'm just getting started, and there's a lot more great content up ahead. But soon, I hope to have some more like life updates in terms of goals that I have achieved and how I got there. I know for me, it's been a lot of eating high protein, low carbohydrate meals and just staying on track, exercising, and tracking calories and that stuff. So I'm going to bring all that motivation here for you. If you subscribe, I'm trying to get 500 members of this channel so I can create the channel, like the community features. Because once we have the community features, I think this will be a lot easier to do, where we'll be able to help each other thrive and live a successful life in the bariatric community or in weight loss in general. So thanks for watching. I hope this is helpful. I look forward to seeing you next week right here on this channel on YouTube. Thanks for watching.